My previous video, I talked about the Sweep Mesh tool. But another great use for curves involves co-opting an animation tool for the purpose of modeling chains and other things like that. So to start off with, I'm just going to get a simple shape to make it obvious what's happening here. I'm going to use a cone. And next, I'm going to go from modeling to animation. I got all my animation tools up here. I'm going to shift select my curve. So I got both these selected. Constrain, motion paths, attach to motion path. And what that does is attaches this cone, that curve, so it'll animate around that curve. And to show you exactly what's going on here, I'm going to adjust the direction this cone is pointing. If I look at my inputs over here, find my motion path 1, I got my front twist, up twist, and side twist. Front twist lets me rotate like this. Up twist lets me rotate around that direction, and side twist lets me rotate around this way. So I want this to make this pointing down the curve. I'm going to set this to -90. And now it's flying around it like a rocket ship. And what I'm going to use this for is to create a chain of these little cones going around the curve. So I'll use visualize, which is up here, a couple left of constrain, create animation snapshot. I'll hit the little option box so I can see what this is doing. And right now it's only going to from 1 to 60. I'll set this to 120 because that's what I've got. This little number right here actually says 120. That's how many frames I had when I made this, so I have to set this to 120 as well. Hit apply. And now I've got a whole bunch of them. And you'll notice something interesting about this, which is that these get really, really close together at the beginning and the end, and they spread out. That's because it's animated with a slow down and speed up in the animation. If I want to fix that, I have to go to Windows, Animation Editor's Graph Editor. This is what it looks like. This is the curve of the animation itself. This is on frame 0. This is frame 120. This is how it goes from beginning to end. Starts slow, speeds up, slows down again. This right here is a linear tangent. Click on that. And now it's a straight line, and now these are evenly distributed. Now, by default, it does beginning to end of whatever my timeline is right here, but I can always go in here and change this. If I grab this final keyframe right here, if I want to have this only do, say, 60 frames, there should only be 60 of them. However, this still creates 120 frames, which means there's going to be 60 stacked up right here. So whenever that happens, I grab one of these, hit the up arrow on my keyboard, grab all of them, and just hit delete. Gives me this one back here again. I can tell this now I just want to be 60. Hit apply again, and now there's only 60 from beginning to end. I go to my Windows outliner. I can see this is the snapshot right here. And these are all of the things that it created. I'm going to Control G, group those, and move them out of my snapshot group, and just delete this. So now that original cone doesn't do anything. These are just objects now. Once they're out of that group, they're just plain old objects. There's nothing controlling them. They just are what they are. Now, if I wanted to do something a bit more interesting with this, I could create a torus to where I can see that a little bit easier. And let me change the shape of this a little bit. Not that much. There we go. Grab half the faces. Use my extrude tool. Follow that over a bit to make a chain link, like that. And if I select this as well, constrain, attach motion path, and make sure this is linear to start with. For that. And this is just gonna flow around it like that. Let's hit the visualize, create animation snapshot. So it's only doing it from that far to that far, but I think that's got too many already. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to set this to 60. There we go. And now I've got 60 chain links going around, but they're flat. I want them to link into each other. So with this selected, I'm going to go into my motion path right here. And it should be my... Nope, it's not my side one. Which one was it? It was probably my front one. Yeah. So if I change my front one, they all twist like that. If I right click on the word front twist and hold down, I'm going to key selected. Then I'll go to frame 60. I'm going to rotate this. Not sure how much. Just give it a number to start with. I'll flip it all the way around. And I'll key that one too. Nothing changed here though. Let's go to visualize, update snapshot. You can see it slowly curves around like that. Let's try giving it a higher number. Visualize, update. I think it's going to need a whole lot more than that. Has anyone got any number on that at all? There we go. I think this is going to be a really, really big number. There we go. Now you can see you're twisting a whole bunch in between, but it's doing the same thing as it did last time. See that? Frame that. Make sure this is linear as well. There we go. And now I've got a chain. And the cool thing is with this chain, if I right click, go to my control vertex on that curve, I can actually adjust the chain by adjusting the curve, get whatever shape I want out of it. All right. That's another of my favorite little tricks right there.